Hello, everybody. My name is David Campuzano. I'm a solution engineer for MuleSoft, and today I'm going to be continuing my series on how you can use Cursor to build APIs and integrations. To quickly recap, in part one, we used Cursor to build an API that's communicating with a MySQL database and an accounts table. So we'll be using Cursor today, which is an AI IDE with an embedded agent that allows you to write code using natural language. Here at MuleSoft, we meet developers where they're at. So if they are choosing to use VS Code, we can do that. Or if they opt for an AI IDE such as Cursor, we also enable developers to do that. So this is the API that we created. As I mentioned, it's an accounts API and communicating with a MySQL database. Today, we're going to be using Anypoint Code Builder to go ahead and implement this API and create the integration. So let's get started. So here's our API that we created. It has an accounts endpoint, the get method to get all the accounts. We have the post method to create a new account, and account/account ID to retrieve an account based on that account ID. So let's go ahead and use Anypoint Code Builder and implement this API. We'll call this 0702-2025 accounts integration before 0627. Going to go ahead and add this API asset that we've created and create our integration project. So Anypoint Code Builder has now imported our API and scaffolded our project. What that means is it's created the flows associated with the API that enable this integration. So we have the get/accounts to get all the accounts, get account/account ID, post accounts. And so to get started, I've already created a set of prompts that we're going to be using with Cursor to create this integration. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. So here's the prompt. We're going to first start with our dependency setup. So we're going to be adding our database connector, our MySQL library, and ensure that it's properly configured. I've noticed that the more context you add, especially with dependencies, the better Cursor performs. That's why I'm choosing to use some code snippets here to give Cursor a head start. While this is creating the POM, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the rest of the prompts. So here we have the next prompt, which is the database configuration. I'm going to tell Cursor to create a configuration file with my host, the port, database name, username, and then the password I'm going to be adding separately. And then I'm going to inform Cursor to go ahead and use this configuration file across all flows. Let's grab this. Swing back over here. I'll accept that. So first it's creating our properties file, config.properties. This should be in the resource folder. That looks good. Now it's going to go ahead and modify the actual integration. While this is happening, I'm going to go ahead and explain the next part of our prompts. So in order to complete this integration, we're going to need to communicate with the database. So I'm using natural language here, no code, to tell Cursor how to create our flows. So for get all accounts, we're going to query all the fields and then transform response just to include a data object with the array of account records. Similarly for account ID, first I tell it to create a variable for account ID, which we're getting from the parameters on the request, and then use that account ID as the input parameter for my SQL query. And then for the post, I tell it to generate a unique account ID using UUID function, and then insert the record with all these columns. So let's grab this up to here. I'll hit accept all. So while this is going to go ahead and create the SQL queries and the responses, I'm going to go ahead and take this off screen and input my password. Let's go ahead and check out our flows. Let's check the get accounts by account ID. We see that we're setting the account ID variable. Let's go ahead and test our connection while this is all running. Connection is valid, so everything looks good. I'm going to accept all. Let's go ahead and run this project. So the project was built successfully. It's going to go ahead and start the actual server now. All right, we are deployed. Now I can go ahead and test this using Postman. So let's first test our get/accounts. We should return an array of all the accounts. Let's go send this request. All right, that looks good. Let's just grab one of these account IDs. So we should get back Eve and Martinez. Eve Martinez. Let's go ahead and try to create something here. Dave Camp. All right, so we have an account ID created. If I check my database now, I'll hit refresh. I can see that I have an account ID right here, Dave Camper. That looks good. So to summarize, we just showed you how you could use Cursor to build an API and integration, all using natural language. Stay tuned for more updates from MuleSoft, and hope you guys have a great day. Goodbye.